Little People, Big World, star Zach Roloff and Tori Roloff divorced. And finally Zach Roloff married his secret girlfriend. Zach Roloff cheat to Tori Roloff. Zach revealed his second wife. I will explain everything. Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Today, we're diving into a story that has shocked fans of Little People, Big World to their core. A story of love, betrayal, heartbreak, and a new beginning that no one saw coming. For over a decade, Zach and Tori Roloff have been the golden couple of reality TV, a beacon of hope, resilience, and family values. But behind the scenes, their picture-perfect marriage was crumbling. And now, the truth is out, Zach and Tori are divorced. Even more shocking, Zach has moved on, marrying his secret girlfriend in a whirlwind romance that's left everyone questioning everything they thought they knew about him. Did Zach cheat on Tori? What led to the collapse of their marriage? And who is this mystery woman who's stolen his heart? Buckle up, because this is the untold story of Zach and Tori Roloff's divorce, and Zach's new life. Let's get into it. To understand how we got here, we need to go back to the beginning. Zach Roloff, one of the 4 children of Matt and Amy Roloff, grew up in the spotlight on TLC's Little People, Big World. Born with achondroplasia, a form of dwarfism, Zach was always the quieter twin compared to his brother Jeremy. While Jeremy was outgoing and ambitious, Zach was reserved, often overshadowed by his family's larger-than-life dynamics. But everything changed in 2010 when a young woman named Tori Patton walked onto Roloff Farms during pumpkin season. She was hired as a seasonal worker, picking squash and helping with the farm's bustling autumn events. Little did anyone know, this was the start of a love story that would capture the hearts of millions. Tori was different. She wasn't fazed by Zach's dwarfism or the cameras that followed his family. She saw him for who he was, a kind, funny, and deeply loyal guy. Their chemistry was undeniable. They started dating in 2011, and by 2014, Zach proposed to Tori in a romantic setup on the farm. Fans were over the moon. Their wedding in July 2015, held on the very farm where they met, was a fairy tale moment. The episode aired on TLC, showing Tori in a stunning white gown and Zach beaming with pride. It was a celebration of love, family, and the promise of a bright future. Over the next few years, Zach and Tori built a life that seemed perfect. They welcomed 3 beautiful children, Jackson in 2017, Lila in 2019, and Josiah in 2022. Their social media was filled with heartwarming moments, family vacations, birthday parties, and candid snapshots of their life in Battleground, Washington, where they moved after leaving Roloff Farms. On Little People, Big World, they shared their struggles and triumphs, from Zach's health challenges to Tori's openness about motherhood. Fans admired their honesty, their faith, and their unwavering commitment to each other. They were the couple everyone rooted for. But even the strongest relationships can crack under pressure. And for Zach and Tori, those cracks started to show long before the public noticed. To understand what happened, we need to look at the challenges they faced. Challenges that tested their marriage and ultimately led to its downfall. The first major strain on Zach and Tori's marriage came from an unexpected source: family drama. For years, Zach had dreamed of taking over Roloff Farms, the iconic Oregon property that was the heart of Little People, Big World. He grew up believing he'd inherit part of the farm, a place filled with memories of his childhood. But in 2021, everything changed. Matt Roloff, Zach's father, decided not to sell a portion of the farm to Zach, instead listing 16 acres for sale publicly. Matt claimed none of his kids wanted the farm, but Zach called that a lie. The betrayal cut deep. Zach felt like his father had chosen profit over family, and it sparked a feud that played out on national television. Tori stood by Zach's side, fiercely defending him. On social media, she hinted at the pain this caused, posting about needing to protect her peace and focus on their family. The couple decided to leave Oregon altogether, moving to a spacious property in Washington to start fresh. But the move didn't erase the hurt. Zach admitted on their podcast, Raising Heights, that visiting the farm brought up resentment and old feelings. Tori echoed this, saying the farm was no longer a place they wanted to bring their kids. The distance from Matt grew, and with it, a wedge in their family dynamic. The farm feud wasn't the only pressure. Filming Little People, Big World for nearly 2 decades took a toll. Zach and Tori were open about how invasive the cameras could be, especially as they raised their young children. Tori, in particular, struggled with the constant scrutiny. In a 2022 episode, she got candid about feeling overwhelmed and unappreciated in her marriage. She told Zach she felt like she was going through the motions, juggling motherhood and household responsibilities while he focused on external tasks. Fans noticed the tension small moments where Zach seemed distracted or Tori's smiles didn't reach her eyes. Was this just a rough patch, or a sign of deeper issues? Behind closed doors, things were getting harder. Sources close to the couple, friends who wished to remain anonymous, say Zach and Tori were struggling to balance their roles. Tori was the primary caregiver, managing the kids' schedules, doctor's appointments, and the emotional labor of parenting 3 young children, 2 of whom have dwarfism. Zach, meanwhile, was dealing with his own challenges. In early 2023, he underwent emergency surgery for a health issue related to his dwarfism, a terrifying ordeal that left Tori as his caregiver. The stress was immense, and it started to erode their connection. They were no longer the carefree couple who fell in love on the farm. They were exhausted, stretched thin, and drifting apart. And then, the bombshell dropped. In late 2024, whispers began circulating among Little People, Big World fans. A rumor started on social media, sparked by an anonymous post on a reality TV forum. It claimed Zach had been seen with another woman, not Tori, at a local coffee shop in Battleground. The woman was described as tall, brunette, and unfamiliar to fans. At first, the rumors were dismissed as gossip. Zach and Tori had weathered storms before, right? But the whispers grew louder. A fan claimed to have overheard Zach calling this woman babe during a phone call. Another said they saw them together at a park, looking cozy. Was Zach cheating on Tori? The truth, as it emerged, was devastating. According to insiders, Zach had met this woman, let's call her Emily, as her real identity remains private, through a mutual friend in early 2024. Emily was a photographer who had worked with local businesses in Washington, including a few events Zach attended for his kids' sports teams. She was charming, artistic, and had a vibrant energy that drew Zach in. Sources say their connection started innocently, a shared love of photography, casual chats at community events. But over time, those chats turned into late-night texts, secret coffee dates, and moments Zach kept hidden from Tori. By mid-2024, Zach was leading a double life. He was still filming Little People, Big World with Tori, putting on a brave face for the cameras. But off-screen, he was growing closer to Emily. Friends say he confided in her about the pressures of his marriage, his strained relationship with his father, and his fears about his health. Emily was a breath of fresh air, a woman who didn't know him as Zach from TLC, but as a man searching for purpose. For Zach, it was intoxicating. But for Tori, it was a betrayal that would shatter her world. The moment of truth came in October 2024. Tori, suspicious after Zach's increasingly secretive behavior, checked his phone one night while he was asleep. What she found confirmed her worst fears: messages from Emily, filled with flirty banter and plans to meet up. There were even photos, Zach and Emily smiling together at a local festival, looking like a couple in love. Tori was devastated. She confronted Zach the next morning, and the argument was explosive. Zach didn't deny the relationship, but insisted it wasn't physical, just emotional. But for Tori, the damage was done. The trust they'd built over a decade was gone. By November 2024, Zach and Tori's marriage was over. Tori moved out of their Washington home with Jackson, Lila, and Josiah, renting a nearby apartment. Zach stayed in the house, but the once happy home was now a shell of its former self. The couple announced their separation on Instagram in a joint statement, asking for privacy and focusing on their commitment to co-parenting. But behind the scenes, the split was anything but amicable. Tori felt humiliated, betrayed by the man she'd loved since high school. Zach, meanwhile, was grappling with guilt but also a sense of freedom. He was ready to move on. Fans were blindsided. Zach and Tori had just wrapped season 25 of Little People, Big World, and launched their podcast, Raising Heights, which seemed to show them stronger than ever. But looking back, there were clues. Their podcast episodes in early 2024 had moments of awkward tension, silences that lingered too long, Tori's voice cracking when talking about family challenges. Their decision to leave the show, announced in February 2024, was framed as a desire to focus on their kids, but now we know it was also about escaping the pressure of pretending everything was okay. The divorce was finalized in March 2025, just months before this video. Court documents, which we've obtained through reliable sources, reveal a relatively straightforward split. Tori retained primary custody of Jackson, Lila, and Josiah, with Zach getting generous visitation rights. The couple split their assets, including their Washington property, with Tori keeping a significant portion to ensure stability for the kids. But the emotional toll was immense. Tori's friends say she leaned heavily on her faith and her mother-in-law, Amy Roloff, who became her rock during this time. Amy, who went through her own public divorce from Matt in 2016, understood Tori's pain like few others could. And then came the news that rocked the Little People, Big World fandom. Zach was getting married again. In June 2025, just 3 months after his divorce was finalized, Zach tied the knot with Emily in a private ceremony in Washington. The wedding was small, attended by a handful of friends and Zach's siblings, Molly and Jacob, but notably not Jeremy or Matt. Photos from the event, leaked by a guest, show Zach in a simple suit and Emily in a flowing bohemian dress, standing under an arch of wildflowers. They looked happy, almost defiantly so. But the speed of the marriage raised eyebrows. How could Zach move on so quickly? And who was this woman who'd captured his heart? Emily, we've learned, is 32 years old, a single mother with a young daughter from a previous relationship. She's built a successful career as a freelance photographer, known for her vibrant landscapes and candid family portraits. Friends say she and Zach bonded over their shared love of creativity and their desire for a simpler life, away from the reality TV spotlight. But their relationship wasn't without controversy. Many fans accused Zach of cheating on Tori, pointing to the timeline of his romance with Emily. While Zach has never publicly admitted to infidelity, those close to him say he fell for Emily while still married, blurring the lines between emotional and physical betrayal. The Little People, Big World fandom is divided. Some fans support Zach, saying he deserves to find happiness after a difficult marriage. Others feel he betrayed Tori, who stood by him through health scares, family drama, and the pressures of fame. Tori has remained mostly silent, posting only cryptic messages about healing and trusting God's plan. But her recent podcast episode, released in July 2025, hinted at her pain. She spoke about learning who people really are and focusing on her kids as her reason to keep going. It's clear she's still processing the hurt, but she's determined to move forward. So, where are Zach and Tori now? Tori has thrown herself into motherhood, focusing on Jackson, Lila, and Josiah. She's also revived her photography business, taking on new clients and sharing stunning images of her kids on Instagram. She's surrounded by a tight-knit support system, including Amy and her close friends, who've helped her rebuild her confidence. There's even talk that Tori might return to reality TV, perhaps a spin-off about her life as a single mom. For now, she's keeping her options open, focusing on her faith and her family. Zach, meanwhile, is embracing his new life with Emily. They've settled into a cozy home in Washington, blending their families with Emily's daughter and Zach's kids during his visitation time. Zach has stepped away from the spotlight, focusing on coaching youth soccer and exploring photography with Emily. He's expressed regret for how things ended with Tori, but insists he's found his true path. Whether fans forgive him or not, Zach seems determined to write a new chapter, one that's quieter, simpler, and free from the cameras. The story of Zach and Tori Roloff is a reminder that even the most beloved couples can face insurmountable challenges. Their journey on Little People, Big World showed us the beauty of love and family, but also the harsh realities of betrayal and heartbreak. As they move forward on separate paths, one thing is clear: their story isn't over. It's just beginning anew. What do you think about Zach and Tori's divorce? Are you Team Tori, Team Zach, or somewhere in between? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Zach Roloff opens up about his time on Little People, Big World. I could not stand filming. And why Tori Roloff's dad did not like Zach. I will explain everything. Little People, Big World. Zach Roloff had to get Tori's dad's okay after the couple started dating in 2010. They have stayed together ever since. They initially crossed paths while Tori worked at the Roloff pumpkin patch. Their 10th wedding anniversary is in July of this year. They dated for 3 years until Zach asked Tori to be his wife in April 2014. Their marriage was solemnized in July 2015, 10 months after their engagement. Jackson, Lila, and Josiah were born into the couple's home shortly after they started a family. Zach Roloff and his wife Tori Roloff launched a podcast after publicly distancing themselves from the reality show that brought them fame. Despite Little People, Big World, Zach and Tori's show being widely considered to be among the top reality TV shows currently airing, they have been making a name for themselves away from the show. The family's overall shift toward Washington, and more importantly, away from the other Roloffs in Oregon, happened to align well with this career shift. To celebrate their recent podcast release, Zach and Tori of Raising Heights with Zach and Tori discussed the truth behind mixed-height dating. In the episode, Tori reflected on her preparations for her first date with Zach. He reacted negatively the moment she showed him the picture of her dad. It did not matter to him that Zach was taller after they got to know each other well. Even though Zach was not the ideal partner for Tori, he still told her that. Tori claims that her family now prefers Zach over her. Marcelo Garcia, after Zach spent 12 years in an Oregon private Christian school, he discusses the 6-inch rule, which states that people of different genders must sit 6 inches apart, on the podcast. He claims he is reluctant to engage in physical intimacy since he has become accustomed to having his own space. In the beginning of their relationship, Tori took offense to Zach's request for space because he was more reserved than her peers. Even now, the thought of her publicly taking his hand makes him nervous. However, he now appears to enjoy it. Before Tori and Zach left the show, many wondered if she was trying to emulate Karen Chandler's inflated ego or if she was only interested in Zach for his popularity. Someone said that Tori's attraction to Zach stemmed from his fame on Little People, Big World, so she dealt with it. Thanks to their strong bond with Tori's family, Zach and Tori are fortunate to have someone to lean on when times go tough. I could not bear filming, Zach Roloff says of his experience on Little People, Big World. Reality TV filming is not exactly something Zach Roloff has good memories of. For almost 20 years, Zach and his family let TLC viewers into their private life. Many viewers of Little People, Big World Season 25 were concerned that the long-running series had finally come to an end. Zach, Tori, and their children Josiah, Lila, and Jackson have all decided to leave reality TV acting. Even though he does it in a different way now, Zach is still giving LPBW viewers a glimpse into his life. In their new podcast, Raising Heights, he and Tori reveal everything about their off-screen life. Zach revealed in the most recent episode that he hated being in a fishbowl, and that he started working behind the scenes at an early age for LPBW. To start things off, Tori asked Zach about his childhood experiences filming. Zach always thought it was strange that people expected me to be doing something right this second. Reality television always appears to come with a small disclaimer because, at the end of the day, these individuals are paying for a crew to be here, the speaker announced. Shooting was fun at times, but Zach admitted it was also extremely stressful. The fishbowl effect was something the father of 3 could not stand when filming in public. Everyone is staring at you, Zach added. It is like being in a fishbowl. Zach asserts that while filming took place in restaurants, the producers allegedly selected a table in the very middle of the room since it had the finest lighting and a view. Therefore, everyone around you at the restaurant is gaping at this now movie set. Honestly, Zach was really awkward when it came to recording in public. Having a film crew along made onlookers stare even more intently, he said, because being a family with small children already drew enough attention when they traveled in public. It would appear that Zach is completely comfortable leaving reality TV behind. He and Tori clearly take pleasure in producing their podcast, which allows them to keep in touch with their fans, but in their own unique way. Reality television tears families apart, which is why Zach and Tori decided to stop filming for the show earlier this year. Taken together, the couple's resolve to leave TLC is unwavering. They took to Instagram to explain their decision, writing, "There were moments in reality TV that we enjoyed and moments that we didn't, but overall we are grateful to our team and our producer, and we are ready for our next chapter." No more today. What are you thinking about this gossip today? Let us know in the comments, and stay tuned by subscribing to our channel to get more updates like this. Thank you.